Honor the fallen! Continuing with our holiday series on Memorial Day, today we post Memorial Day, Americans' Call to Prayer. That's right, there is federal law encouraging Americans to pray. Hey, I'm Greg Niblock with Niblock & Associates. You know me as the reset button lawyer, hitting the reset button on bills and credit through bankruptcy, on the insurance company for folks injured or killed in an accident, or on the government to get their Social Security disability benefits going. So let's talk about America's Call to Pray. U.S. Code Title 36, Subtitle 1, Part A, Chapter 1, Section 116, enacted in 1950, designates Memorial Day a federal holiday, calling on the people of the United States of America to observe Memorial Day by praying for permanent peace. This law acknowledges America's dependence on God for permanent peace, and it follows the principles of 2 Chronicles 7:14, which says, "If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear them from heaven, and I will forgive their sin and will heal their land." And Proverbs chapter 14, verse 34, which says, "Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people." Also consider our nation's motto, "In God We Trust," which reminds us that faith in our God is one of America's most important principles. Although to our 21st century mind, we might find it pleasantly shocking that these federal laws exist amidst the ravages of the radical, anti-Christian, leftist, never-ceasing insidious efforts to de-Christianize America into a godless, socialist, communist society, with their intent to enslave the individual to an all-powerful government god. However, considering our deep Christian history and of our exceptional founding, the pilgrims who came to start new lives to practice Christianity without repression, who participated in the American Revolution, wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights and our Constitution, it's not at all surprising that federal law encourages people to pray. The Declaration of Independence, let's talk about that. This document that captured the reason of our separation from England and set the stage of the establishment of a new nation, signed by 56 men, most of whom had degrees in divinity, reference God about 5 times. First, to assume among these powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare these causes which impel them to this separation. Number 2, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Number 3, we therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions. Number 4, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence. Number 5. We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. This indicates our freedom and citizenship is a sacred honor granted to us by God. Now let's consider what American historical figures had to say. Daniel Webster, he was a congressman from New Hampshire and Massachusetts and was U.S. Secretary of State under 3 different presidents. He said, "There is no solid basis for civilization but in the Word of God. Our ancestors established their system of government on morality and religious sentiment. Whatever makes men good Christians makes them good citizens." And then consider what Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the U.S., stated regarding the Civil War. "Sir, my concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right." And then in 1863, consistent with Lincoln's statement, the phrase, "In God we trust," was incorporated onto the 2-cent coin and was minted in 1864 as a statement that God was on the side of the Union. There are uncountable numbers of other notable American statesmen that echo Lincoln and Webster's sentiments, and it would take all day long to list them out and talk about them. So let's just leave what we've done to be enough. Now, consider the following United States Supreme Court justices' statements. First, Justice Joseph Story. He was a justice from 1812 to 1845. He was regarded as the father of American jurisprudence, and he's remembered for his opinion in the Amstead case and his book, Commentaries on the Constitution of the United States. Justice Story left no doubt concerning the role of Christianity in the origin of America. Justice Story stated, "One of the beautiful boasts of our municipal jurisprudence is that Christianity is part of common law, from which it seeks the sanction of its rights, and by which it endeavors to regulate its doctrines. There never has been a period in which the common law did not recognize Christianity as laying at its foundations." He also stated in his book, "Every American colony, from its foundation down to the Revolution, with the exception of Rhode Island, if, indeed, that state be an exception," that's what he said, "did openly, by the whole course of its laws and institutions, support and sustain in some form the Christian religion. Indeed, in a republic, there would seem to be a peculiar propriety in viewing the Christian religion as the great basis on which it must rest for its support and preeminence, if it be what it has ever been deemed by its truest friends to be the religion of liberty." Montesquieu has remarked that the Christian religion is a stranger to mere despotic power. The mildness so frequently recommended in the Gospels is incompatible with the despotic rage with which a prince punishes his subjects and exercises himself in cruelty. Now let's talk about Justice John McLean. He was appointed to the Supreme Court in 1812 by President Andrew Jackson. He voted against the Democrat court members in the Dred Scott case of 1857. This, you'll recall, was the case that continued the legalization of slavery. His decision was surely affected by his Christian belief system, as evidenced by his book, Commentaries on the Constitution. And this is what he said: "For many years, my hope of the perpetuity of our institutions has rested upon biblical morality and the general dissemination of Christian principles. This is an element which did not exist in ancient republics. It is a basis on which free governments may be maintained through all time." He also said, "Our mission of freedom is not carried out by brute force, by canon, i.e. church law, or any other law except the moral law and those Christian principles which are found in the Scriptures. Then let's talk about Justice David Brewer. In 1892, in the Church of the Holy Trinity versus U.S. case, he wrote the unanimous majority decision for the court. The latter portion of the decision provides over 80 pieces of evidence or historical proofs demonstrating America is a Christian nation and concludes this is a Christian nation. Now let's talk about Chief Justice Earl Warren. In 1954, he, in a speech stated at a prayer breakfast, affirmed the historical role Christianity has occupied in our nation's life by stating, "I believe no one can read the history of our country without realizing that the good book and the Spirit of the Savior have from the beginning been our guiding genius. The same objective is present, a Christian land governed by Christian principles. I believe the entire Bill of Rights came into being because of the knowledge our forefathers had of the Bible and their belief in it. I like to believe we are living today in the spirit of the Christian religion." That's what he said. Now, based on these few evidences presented, there are mountains of other evidences that could be presented. No rational person can say our nation was not founded on basic Christianity. Therefore, it is not at all surprising that we as a nation pray to God for peace, for our nation to follow Christian principles, and to throw off anti-Christian ideals, policies, and laws that will enslave our citizens. All our previous Memorial Day posts have been leading up to our finale video to be posted tomorrow and is entitled Memorial Day, Honor the Fallen, which I believe will be solemnly emotional, and we hope you will participate with us in prayer and honoring the fallen. Thanks for watching our video, and remember, at Niblock & Associates, we stand ready to help you regarding bankruptcy, personal injury, wrongful death, or Social Security disability. Don't hesitate to call or go online for your free, no-obligation consultation. And until next time, may the Lord bless and keep you and your family. Y'all have a great day.